You're listening to Last Word Radio, where you get the last word.
Welcome to the Fourth Line Podcast, part of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATV. This is January the 29th, 2018. With you today is myself, Carl, and the always wonderful Joel.
I'm gonna come, and I'm gonna slam you into the wall, and I'm gonna break your face. Because I am the man who knocks.
Your combination of culture there was fantastic.
Oh, that felt good.
Did it? You got a little off your chest there?
It was a long day.
Yeah?
Not really. Today was an okay day.
Yeah, it was for a Monday. My Monday was pretty good.
Yeah. Is it Monday? I don't know what day it is. Apparently it might have been a long day.
Yeah, it's Monday.
I felt just like with the Royal Rumble, I needed to get that wrestler voice out of me.
That's good. I like it.
Yeah.
I checked the tape. Joe Pavelski was not present and did not win the Royal Rumble yesterday.
Hey.
Neither did Ryan McDonough.
I was going to say, I have a beef with this. I saw that tweet from you.
Yeah.
For those who are wondering, I never tweet from the podcast account.
Not true. You did like a week ago.
So stop lying. So you said that Joe Pavelski didn't win the Royal Rumble, which was true because he never has ever won a Royal Rumble.
No, I listened back to it. Your revisionist history on this is phenomenal. Because to the point where for a long time I believed you. You tried to make a push the day we actually recorded it that Ryan McDonough should win, and I stood by it. That no, Ryan McDonough was not going to suddenly reappear and win. Because when we re-released it recently, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go double check who won. I'm not falling for your shenanigans, Joel.
So according to the tape, according to Carl, according to the tape, it's Joe Pavelski.
That's a fact. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe it. Who won the Royal Rumble?
No one I'd heard of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't. to the point, I don't even remember. Like, I can't help you on this one.
It wasn't Ronda Rousey.
No, she was not the winner. Next year, maybe.
Yeah, apparently that's going to be a thing.
Yeah, is that going to make you want to watch wrestling more?
No, I don't have TV.
That makes it hard.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Joel, before we get into more of this show, let's remind the fine folks about our favorite bank.
Give me an A.
A.
Give me a T.
T.
Give me a B.
B.
What does that spell?
ATB. That's our favorite bank. They're the sponsor of the Alberta Podcast Network, and they want you to know if you go over to atb.com/listens, you'll be able to find out more about what ATB can do for you. Lots going on over there. And so head on over, see what they can do for you. And if you're looking for a new bank, or even if you're not, if you're like, you know what, like I'm happy where I am, I'm pretty sure ATB would love to know what you like about there and see if they can give you the same sort of experience. Lots has happened in this past week. Yes.
I thought that's why we were talking about nothing, because nothing had happened. Because I don't believe there's been any hockey since, Tuesday. Well,
there was hockey on Saturday night. There was hockey Sunday afternoon. You may know there was a skills competition, Joel, and an all-star game.
Interesting. What league was playing?
The National Hockey League. I actually have the AHL all-star game on right now.
You don't have that on.
I 100%.
You do not like all-star games that much that you are watching an AHL all-star game.
Yeah, I want to know how the Marlies do for you.
They're good.
I assume you have a lot of people in this game. I don't know. but it is on the television.
There's no way. You should tweet a Twitter poll and see if people actually believe you or not.
Okay.
Is Carl actually watching the AHL All-Star game? I vote no.
All right, we know how Joel votes. What did happen was, I don't know, the skills competition, I watched it. I watched all of everything that happened that weekend. And, you know, the skills comp was fine. There was nothing super entertaining of note. I think the best part of it was this new, goalie save streak, which actually ended up being pretty good because there was, Marc-Andre Fleury, you know, he's always a little bit showy. And so they had him in that competition and he got to be a little flashy. He made what, I think 14 saves in a row to win it.
Yeah. So
it's like the best players in the world in a shootout, but they're not trying as hard as they could. So
they're definitely not trying as hard as they could. One guy threw a glove at a goalie.
Yeah. But that's PK.
Yeah. So I watched about 5 minutes of the skills comp.
And?
It was actually the 13 goal streak by Pekka and then the 14 goal streak by Marc-Andre Fleury. It's kind of convenient. We didn't actually talk about this before the show, but like literally like the one thing that Carl starts talking about in the All-Stars comp, like I saw that.
There you go. You saw the only thing worth noting in that. Like the fastest skater, Connor won. The fastest skater is not a thrilling competition anyways. Hardest shot, like it's cool, but it's not impressive. It's not entertaining. It's not thrilling television.
Oh, and it's like guys barely hit 100 now.
Yeah, Ovi was the only one that cracked 100.
I don't think this, like, you actually thought this save streak was like super entertaining?
So you watched 5 minutes of it. That was the best that you saw. Like, that's as good as it got right there.
I turned it off kind of because of that. I was like, I don't know. It was okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed that part. The rest of it was, meh.
However, so I was watching it with my father.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's always a good time. Your dad's got some great comments.
Yeah, doesn't like sports at all. Like,
right.
So I'm watching with someone. So I believe there was a goalie in between Pekka and Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah. Was it Hellebuck?
I don't know. It was someone who did really bad, and it was my father thought it was hilarious how bad that one was, because he's like the first goal went in, and then he's like, that guy's not very good, and then the second goal went in, he's like, oh man, he shouldn't be here, and like it was great, which I thought that was the best part of the skills comp for me. It was my dad making comments about it, but so
which then I guess so let's skip ahead to the All-Star game. There was teams played, things happened. Connor McDavid was good. Nathan McKinnon opened the scoring.
That probably made you jump out of your seat.
I did. I gave a whole woo, one of them.
Didn't he win?
Win what?
The whole thing.
McKinnon?
Yeah, isn't he in the division that won?
No.
What division are the Avs in?
The Central.
Oh, Pacific one.
Yeah.
Because Brock Bowser won.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that happened. The only thing that, like, again, it was fairly entertaining. There was, your boy Auston Matthews and his new best friend Jackson Eichel. Choreographed
Do not
celebration.
Say that. They are not friends.
Okay, fine. I'll call him by his real name, Jack Eichel. Auston Matthews and his best friend Jack Eichel.
No, they are not friends.
Celebrated the goal using Austin's new thing where he shows up officials.
How upset should I be that they're friends?
How upset are you?
I'm really upset about it.
I think you should just, I'm not going to tell you how to feel. You feel how you want to feel. don't
like it.
I wouldn't like it either. If Nathan McKinnon, I'm very okay that Nathan MacKinnon is friendly with Sidney Crosby and not Jack Eichel.
Yeah, I don't like it. Because it's just like, come on, Auston. Why are you slumming it? Come on. You can do better. Like, if him and, I don't know, like, who do you want? Okay, like, who is the guy in the NHL that you want Nathan MacKinnon to be best friends with?
Who else?
Like, you think Crosby is the guy? Crosby's like, he's kind of whiny.
Who would I want him to be friends with? I'm just saying, like, I'd much rather, like, I'm fine with Crosby. I like that. Crosby's good. If they're hanging out and training together, making Tim Hortons commercials, trading playing cards, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who I would want. Like, I saw, like, I think Stamkos and, like, Kucherov are, like, apparently they're, like, really good friends. That's not a common, like, you don't want to be best friends with Stamkos.
Why
Like,
not?
because you don't want Stamkos' training regiment. Like, you don't want to be like, hey, Stamkos, how do you train in the off season to, like, stay healthy? That's not a, like, you don't want that, right?
Right. Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
So, like who is, I don't know. Like, and you don't want it to be Ovi because you're just like, that guy doesn't care about anything. So you're like, you're not going to get better. Ovi's just like, don't you think, like, Ovi's that guy that just bothers everybody because he doesn't, like, try at all?
But it's just super good.
Just super good. And then, so, like, I don't know who that guy is, but I gotta think, this is gonna bug me now. I'm gonna think about this for a long time. Like, what NHL player do I want, like, someone on my team to be best friends with? The answer most certainly isn't Jack Eichel. Like, I can guarantee you that.
Like, one of the last players on that list is gonna be Jack Eichel.
Like, the only people, like, worse than that is, like, Matt Duchene. But you don't want that guy.
Yeah.
Was he at the All-Star game? I don't even remember who was at the All-Star game.
No, Matt Duchene was off fishing.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10,
would Phil Kessel be that guy? I think Phil Kessel's that guy.
Yeah, Phil Kessel.
If you were like, man, these guys, Nathan MacKinnon and Phil Kessel were caught grabbing hot dogs after the game. I like this. I like where this is going.
That is, because, like, yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Because Kessel, because first off, Kessel beat cancer. So, like...
Right. He's got the work ethic.
Yeah, he is an American hero.
Joel, they are showing Joel Pavelski on the AHL All-Star game right now.
I don't believe you.
Okay, well, that's fine.
there's yeah, Phil Kessel's a good one. Okay, but back to this All-Star game. You watched it, I didn't. Did you watch all 3 games?
Yeah.
Scale of 1 to 10, how entertained were you? 10 being Game 7 Stanley Cup playoffs. Did I say Game 10? Game 7? I don't know what I said.
No one knows what you said.
Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals. That's what I meant to say. I don't know if that's what I did say.
I would say it was like a 6.5.
So you're coming back for more?
Yeah, like, I'll still watch it next year. It wasn't bad enough that, like, I was doing other stuff during it, but I still enjoyed it.
Oh, we're watching it next year.
I left. Oh yeah, that's true. I left during the Kid Rock performance. Had no idea if it was good or bad. Saw none of it. That was when I had to go get queso.
Wait. How do you have a halftime performance without a halftime?
In between games, so like the intermission between periods.
So, but there was like 3, there was 2 intermissions. So, like, which one?
The, before the finals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What did they do in the other one? Like, racing dogs on the ice?
I don't know what they did in arena. Ron McLean had a magical interview with Gary Bettman during the first one.
Oh, did you watch that?
I did. Especially
highlights from that, please.
Let's see. They talked about the goalie interference, which is a topic we're going to get to. Some of the offside challenges and the reviews and things like that. But the highlight for me was the conversation about the new arena in Calgary that they were talking about. So he talked about what's happening in Ottawa and how that's going. And then Ron MacLean was having none of Gary Bettman's stuff. Because at one point, Gary said that like the Calgary leaving wasn't a threat. Oh no, he said, what is it about the, Calgary using a similar tactic to Edmonton, where Edmonton threatened to leave? And Gary said, Edmonton never threatened to leave. That didn't happen. Gary, come, Gary.
Did Ron call him out? Be like, no, that did happen.
Yeah, it was pretty good interview.
I should go back and check that out. I love Ron MacLean.
Yeah, and especially like he's been doing it for so long. He does not care about what anyone else thinks. He's there to do his job. He's going to ask the questions he wants to. And it's like what? It's not like Gary can get pissed off and say, I'm never talking to Ron MacLean again. Like you have to. He's the main guy on the biggest broadcaster in Canada.
Ron MacLean probably has, definitely in Canada, but like he probably has the longest leash of any sports broadcaster.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like, there's nothing that he can say or do that's going to get him fired. Not because he can say whatever he wants, but because he's just the type of guy that's not going to say anything that will ever get him fired.
Yeah, exactly.
But yet we'll push, because like, and you know how you learn how to do that? You like corral Don Cherry for about 30 years.
Yeah, you spend the last 20 years trying to get Don Cherry to not get himself fired, and you figure that out.
Do you realize, like, they've probably been together more than 20 years?
Yeah,
I think it's like closer to 30.
Is it 30 for them almost? It's got to be.
Well,
yeah,
it's got to be close to that.
I guess, because as long as I can remember watching Hockey Night in Canada, those two have been going. So,
yeah, so it's got to be. It's got to be.
I don't understand what's happening. This AHL All-Star game, they play 5-minute periods. I'm not sure what's going on.
Are you sure you're not watching Timbits hockey?
No, I'm certain. There's like dozens of people in the crowd.
Dozens of people. I can't believe, like, is this on, like, how are you watching this?
It's on Sportsnet. What else am I going to put on the TV? Like, there's literally nothing on tonight. There's no basketball games being shown. I can either watch the AHL. Oh, there's basketball. I can watch the Timberwolves and the Hawks, or curling, or college basketball.
Okay. Do you like curling? Do you like watching curling?
I will put it on. I won't go out of my way. I went to see it live. There was one of those like big tournaments, like the Briar or something was in Calgary a few years ago. And I was like, oh, that'd be fun to just see what it's like live. So I went, and there's a lot of very rowdy people at curling events for some reason.
I gotta think, I think I've said this before, I gotta think that like TSN is super sad that they don't have hockey and they have to show curling.
That's their like prime time TV spot.
That's really their go-to. Like when it's not NFL season, like their biggest thing is NFL and CFL. But then it's like curling. It's like, hey, let's watch curling.
Yeah, literally starting next week, they have nothing left. Because they do basketball sometimes, right? Like they'll have the odd Raptors game.
I think so. I don't know. I feel bad for James Duthie.
Yeah, I definitely do.
Because he's just like, here, like, well, let's pretend curling's relevant and show it all the time.
I enjoy James. Well, Joel, let's get into something else that happened. They had like the Board of Governors meeting down in Tampa at the All-Star break, and a few things came out of that. There was like an update on Seattle. They're expecting to put in their official proposal later this week. Yeah.
Coach's Corner, as old as I am.
Wow.
Started in 1987.
Look at you go.
Oh, I'm good at this Google thing.
You're good at this game, yeah, for sure. So far, Joel did put up the Twitter poll. We're sitting at 62% of people do not believe I'm actually watching the AHL All-Star game.
Yeah, that's right.
But one thing that did come out of it was they had an update on, they talked about what they're going to do with goaltender interference. This is something that came up because, especially on the heels of last week, during the show last week, we talked about this. We talked about the fact of there was a goal that was disallowed in the Avalanche Leafs game.
Which is the correct way of saying that. A goal was disallowed.
Right.
Not an illegal goal. A goal.
Like a good goal.
A good goal was disallowed. You are an Avalanche fan, and you still think that was a good goal.
Yeah. And then later in the week, there was another goal that was disallowed.
There was a guy sitting on Frederik Andersen. He was sitting on him. And that's okay. That is okay.
So that goal stood. The goal was someone on Fred. Do we need the rant shack for you?
I am so fired up about this.
Okay, Joel, I'm gonna go watch this All-Star game. You tell me your thoughts on goaltender interference.
Did you watch the Oilers game? Did you see the Oilers
game?
You saw that. How? So there was a guy sitting on Frederik Andersen. Sitting on him. And that counted. Connor McDavid barely touched Mike Smith or whoever the goalie was. And that was then disallowed.
Yeah.
The puck was behind the Avalanche goalie, and Matthews is like, I'm just going to go around and tap it in. And they're like, no, you touched the goalie. That's not allowed. You know what this is going to result in?
Nope.
This is going to result in, you remember a Stanley Cup Finals, I believe, like, I want to say 99? I don't know, Sabres Stars. Foot in the crease controversy, right? Like, that should have been disallowed according to the rules. That's where we're going again. We're going where if you touch blue, it's going to be no goal. And if the goalie comes outside of blue, you can do whatever you want to him.
And
how is that going to be fun?
Well, see, so here's what came out of this. The league sent a letter, a memo, not a letter. I don't know the difference. I'm not professional. They sent a memo to the officials saying to take a quick look, but don't search it to death, which I don't know what that means. I don't know how that's going to help. Does that give you any confidence that they're just going to take a quick little peek? And they're like, not goalie interference. I'm took my quick look.
It's so dumb. All the beat writers and whatnot for the Leafs, like after the goal that accounted when the guy was sitting on Frederik Andersen, the league sent out a memo to all the people following and said, as an explanation for the goal and why it was allowed. Did you see that? Do you want to know what the explanation was?
I do.
It was, we found that there was no goalie interference, so it was a good goal. That's what it said. I'm not even making this up. You can go check it out. It just basically said, at this time, in this period of this game, there was a review for goalie interference. It was deemed there wasn't goalie interference, so it was a good goal. Well, thanks. Thanks, Batman. Thanks for sending that out. This is good. It has been so bad. I think I was reading something or listening to something. There's been 33 goals that have been denied by goalie interference so far this year. There was 36 total last year.
It's getting a little out of hand.
It's getting out of hand. It's so bad. Well, it's so frustrating.
Yeah. So what is your vision? What do you want? What do you want to have happen?
I want, if you sit on a goalie, that's not allowed. And I want, if the guy is making a hockey play.
You're asking for more goals to be allowed is what you're asking for then?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
That is what I want. I want it so that as you can, did you see when there was another one earlier in the game that I actually don't understand. JVR totally took out the Blackhawks goalie and the goal was disallowed. But there was actually no chance the goalie was going to get the puck. So I don't know how you do it. The problem is I don't even want a black and white system. I want common sense. But it just doesn't seem like any referee in any sport can have common sense. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand why this is so difficult. Carl, why is this so difficult?
It's not.
Okay,
no, I get why it is difficult. I do get why it's difficult. It's difficult because people want to be able to have a justifiable reason that they can put. Now, granted, you know what? I think they realized, like, man, we really screwed up that Freddie Anderson. There was someone sitting on him. And so that's why they sent out that garbage reason, because they're like, we can't actually make a reason. But so I think that one is an actual mistake. But the rest of it, I think what you want is something where you can send something like that out and say, hey, this is why it got overturned because of this reason and this reason and this reason, and have that similar. So if you're saying someone made contact with the goalie, that is not someone made large contact with the goalie, small contact with the goalie. They're saying, look, if someone made contact because there's no way to make like a big contact versus small contact, and then how much contact does or doesn't matter, I think they're trying to get it to this black and white point, and it's very difficult to have it. Like you said, it is difficult, and that's what they're trying to do, and it's leading into over-policing.
Because yes or no, Connor McDavid goal was good.
Very good.
Like, not even close. I think that this is my answer, and I know there's people that disagree with me, and I don't really care. I think you need to take this out of the Zebra's hands and send it to, if you're going to challenge goaltender interference, don't let two guys look on an iPad mini that is from 17 years ago that is blurry and doesn't have HD and send it to Toronto to the room where there's challenges. Like, why do you have two different systems for challenging things?
I agree. I think they should all come from the same place. That way it's just the same group of people.
And it shouldn't be the two guys that are on the ice that are totally going to be swayed by the fans, because like if you're in Philly, dangerous if you go again.
You're going to get wounded on your way out.
So how about you just take it out of the guys' hands? Don't make them look at a little tiny screen. Like, because...
And it's going to be way faster, right? There you can blow it up, and you're not basing it off of what was actually seen anyways. You're only allowed to base it off of what's in this review thing. So, yeah, give it to the people who have all the views, the big TVs. You can blow it up, and you can be like, look. Same thing with offside. I think offside is just as bad as goalie interference right now. The amount of things that are called offside. The fact that there was an offside review in the All-Star game is ridiculous.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the league that you have guys looking at offsides on like literally handheld screens. Well, 80% of the people that are watching the game are watching it on screens way bigger than the refs are.
Well, shoot, I would argue that depending on where you're sitting in most of these arenas, that Jumbotron is giving you a better view of the offside than what they have.
So everybody has a better view except for the two guys that are making the call.
Whose job it is, yeah.
So
shoot, even on the benches, right? Behind most of these benches now, especially the home bench, they have a full-size TV there. Like, they should just go skate over to the Leafs bench and go watch the review there, because it's better.
I love how you said Leafs, because you're right. The Leafs are getting destroyed with these calls.
Well, I thought of that because of the fact that they were the ones in question this week. So
I just don't get. I don't get how they could see. I don't even know who the heck it was. It was like he was on top of Frederik Andersen. He was like on him, and I'm not exaggerating. Am I exaggerating?
No, he was sitting on him, which the overhead camera makes it very difficult to see if someone's on you or not.
No, it doesn't. Like, it's not difficult. It was on. I am so mad.
Well, Joel. Let's switch to something that maybe is a little nicer to you. Another thing, after the All-Star game finished this weekend, there were some conversations happening between, all the players, right? Auston Matthews and Jagr hanging out. They're going down and hanging out with all the Pirates this weekend and, riding boats or whatever they did. Steven Stamkos is hanging out with Kucherov. Erik Karlsson and Victor Hedman are dressing up as Pirates. And one thing that came out of all of this was conversations about, there's a lot of inter-team friendships. You know, you play junior with a guy, you play on the national team with a guy, World Juniors. You get to meet players from all over. Steven Stamkos and Auston Matthews both making their points to the players about how great their current team situations are. And the fact that, you know, you'd be more than welcome to come and play. What are your thoughts on this collusion that's happening at these All-Star Game events?
I'm totally okay with this.
Does that have any impact in that one of them involves your Leafs? If Jack Eichel was making a push to have people go join him in Buffalo, if he was like, look guys, I'm really good, the rest of this team is terrible, Ryan O'Reilly, no good.
It doesn't bother me at all. Why would it, like, they don't make the decisions.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too. I honestly think that if you can get those things together, because like, if you look at a league which, player movement wise, the NBA is a ton of fun. Like there's trades, there's movement, and the fact that even going back to like the Miami Heat days, right? When LeBron, Bosh, and Wade all got together because of collusion, right? Like, you know, they talked about that. That was their plan all along. They were going to go do that. They were going to make this, and it falls apart quickly. Like, how many times I think back to Paul Kariya and Teemu Selanne going to the Avalanche. Like, that was a collusion-y thing. They talked about it. They said, hey, let's do this. They went there. Didn't work.
Yeah, I'm okay. Like, it. And the other thing is like, with all the guys at the All-Star game, like, they're all under contract. It's not like they can just go. It's not like, yeah, you can't just go there. I don't understand. Like, is there people that have a problem with this?
I think there's some people who just, they don't like the fact that people are trying to convince them to go to these situations.
Yeah, but like, to be like, okay, so if you were a player, would you not want to go to Tampa right now? Like, regardless of what anybody says.
Yeah, you should want to, right? Like, Steven Stamkos doesn't need to point out to you how fun this weekend was hanging out in Tampa.
Yeah, and like, and the other thing is, like, I don't know, like, there's good situations that you'd want, like, as like a veteran, if he's having to make a decision between signing with Arizona or Colorado or, I don't know, Ottawa and Toronto or Pittsburgh and name another terrible team. Like, there's some of those teams that are either good or going to be good or have young guys that are good that you would rather go to than teams that are old and broken and have zero future.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And like, especially if you have the fact that you simply give a team an opportunity to showcase themselves by giving them the chance to host an All-Star game, you're asking for this to happen, essentially, in my opinion. Like, Tampa isn't just showing off to the fans, the media, they're showing off to the other players. You're like, look, you want to come have a good time in Tampa? This is what it's like to go be part of the Lightning.
Yeah. Tampa, like, would you be worried if you're a Tampa fan?
No, why would I be worried? Because
how many times do the runaway favorites win the Stanley Cup? Like, the President's Trophy runaway winners.
The President's Trophy ones, not super often for sure.
Like, because, like, there's two teams that I'd be like, yeah, they're totally lining up for a first round knockout. Vegas, that one is like, I know everyone's all of a sudden like on the Vegas train and being like, this team's amazing. Like, I could see them getting swept in 4 in that first round so easily. Which, if it all shook out the way that it is right now, you would be very okay with that.
Oh, is that who we'd play right now?
Yeah, you'd be playing Vegas.
Ooh, that's good.
That is a total, like, I would not count on Vegas to win anything in the playoffs. But, like, Tampa's totally setting up for just, like, they're totally getting set up to just get bounced. Like they're the runaway cup favorites.
Yeah, but they're good, and they should be good. Like this team was last year and the year before expected to be a good team. As long as Steven Stamkos is healthy, this team is one of the best in the league. They've replaced Ben Bishop with Vasilevsky, who has filled in fantastically. Like, the only reason that it was questionable was because he hadn't been given that shot before to play full time.
This isn't a talent thing, though. This is just like a straight up, just like this happens in sports, and it's just a total setup. It has nothing to do with how good they are. I think they're the best team in the league, and they should win. But it just feels like one of those things that they're totally not going to.
Yeah, I see the Vegas side of it. I don't know. I would still put my marbles on Tampa. It's probably not that. This is probably something very easy to figure out, but I'd be interested to know when the last time a President's Trophy team won the Stanley Cup. It was, I think it was Detroit. So that's how far back we got to go.
Like, we're going a long ways back, because who won last year? Penguins? They were not.
Washington. Washington was been the first.
I was going to say, like, this is the Washington rule.
Right.
Because they always, but like, do they not feel like Washington?
Blackhawks in 2013 were the last President's Trophy to win.
Okay.
Before that was Detroit.
So not very common.
So it's like one every, lately it's less common, but it's one every 5 years. There was a stretch where 3 out of 4 won it, but yeah, it's I'd say 25% of the time the President's Trophy champ wins the cup.
Wait, when did one out of every 5 years? So like 10 years ago was when Detroit won.
6, 7, 8. Yeah. Like there's been 8 since 86. So that's 8 in 32 years. That's one of every 4 years.
There you go. You're like, well, I'd say 1 out of every 25%. And then it's actually that exactly, Mr. Math over here, making it like, so people, you should hire Carl to do math. Apparently, he's really good at it.
Sometimes. Mr. Jaromir Jagr retired. Oh, he didn't retire. He got reassigned to his team, the team he owns in the Czech League today. And I guess it's not official, but we can safely assume his NHL career is done. Yes.
It wasn't done before.
But like
I assumed it was
official. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Sure.
Okay. Do you, I don't know. We talked about this in our Patreon episode. If you want that, if you're a subscriber, feel free to go and listen. Jaromir Jagr, top 10 player of all time.
Yeah.
Okay. So like
somewhere there.
Yeah. I'd say
I was just trying to rattle off on the top of my head, like Crosby, Gretzky, Howe, or Lemieux, Patrick Waugh, and then I don't like. It's really hard for me to judge like guys like the like really old, like the like older
Richard
guys
and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's probably another goalie that's in that list. I don't know.
I appreciate that you only put one goalie on that list, so thank you.
You're welcome. This is the only reason why I put the best goalie of my era in that list. But like,
I thank you for saying that as well.
Well, I'm not going to say it's Dominic Hasek.
I know. I'm also glad you're not saying it's Martin Brodeur.
Yeah. Brodeur's probably... Would you rather Brodeur than Jagr? I know that you can't answer that.
I was going to say, as unbiasedly as humanly possible, no, I would have Jaromir Jagr.
See, I would probably take Brodeur in that case.
Interesting.
Jaromir Jagr never won anything by himself.
And I guess that is the only reason why as much as I have my dislike of Martin Brodeur, having a top goaltender is way more important than having a top winger.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure
but that's also a different question, right? Like which tops in the league, is that the rank of like who would you rather have? Because I think we're putting a lot more goalies in that top if it's that. But like I would say top at his position. I don't know. I guess that's a criteria that needs to be thought of if you're coming up with a list like that.
I'm just thinking, I was answering from if I was starting a franchise and I got to choose which of these guys, they're 18 years old, who would I take first?
Yeah. I would take the Brodeur. If he were to become the Brodeur that he was, yes. If you pick a player at 18 and you get the career that they already had, yeah, I want Brodeur.
And so that's why. So I take it back. I don't think Jagr. Like if I was actually to play this out, Jagr's not a top 10 player.
But close, and a little bit of not an unfortunate. And I think this is how a lot of 45-year-old hockey players' careers end. When you're not good enough to play anymore, and the team's like, "Hey, like how can we help you get what you want out of this? Because we don't want you anymore."
Does the second in because he's second in points all time, right?
I believe is he not third, or is he? I think he's second or third. But
yeah,
the internet knows.
I thought he just passed, but like, does that make a difference? Because I know some people are like,
because he's third in games played, or numbers are hard, Joel. As much as you're like hire Carl to do math, remembering numbers not easy. Anyways, you keep talking. I'll look these things up.
I don't know I don't have anything else to say.
Okay, well,
we should just move on.
All right.
Goodbye, Jagr.
Jagr was great. He will enjoy playing for forever in the Czech Republic. The New York Islanders announced today that they are going back to Long Island a little prematurely because they're building that new arena at Belmont Park where they run the old horse races, the pony show. And they're actually returning to play part of their season next year in Brooklyn, part of it back in the old arena that they left. Have you ever seen a team return to their old stomping grounds like that because their situation is that terrible?
No. Like, how many times has this happened?
I can't think of any. That's why I asked. I can't think of anything. Like, I can't think of an arena situation. As bad as the arena situation is in Calgary, it's not like they're going to go back to the old corral where they used to play. That's definitely not happening.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I have nothing to say about the Islanders. I don't really care.
I find it very interesting that they, like, how poorly this thing's gone for them.
Yeah.
With their move to Brooklyn. I thought it was a good idea. Clearly, no one in Brooklyn cared enough, and just everyone is still making the trek from the island.
So this is the question that I have then, and I'm not allowed to answer it because every time we talk about this, I get in trouble. So I'm going to ask you, and then I'm not going to comment on it.
I'm excited. I have no idea what this question is.
You're John Tavares. Do you want to stay or go?
Here's the thing. John Tavares continues to say all the right things.
Because he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's Canadian.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But I don't know. Like he was at the announcement today, with this change because they're playing 12 games on the island in the old Coliseum, and then I guess because there's 41, so 29 in Brooklyn, which is like the weirdest split ever, but whatever. And he was saying, we're excited about this. We're excited about the way that this is going to take us and all those kinds of things. I still think John Tavares stays. Like, does this make it more or less likely? I don't think it impacts it, to be honest.
I appreciate you completely ignoring my question and going in a different direction.
What was the question?
If you are John Tavares, do you stay?
Yes.
Like, do you want to stay?
Yeah.
You want to be a part of this?
I do, because John Tavares, as long as the Islanders are going to give me what market value is for me, which I assume that they will, if the Islanders are willing to pay me, my 10, 11, 12 million per year for the next 8, 1, I can get that extra year from the Islanders, and 2, I'm the kind of, if I've been with a team for this long, like John Tavares has, I want to be that face of the franchise. I want to, when I retire, that people are like, John Tavares, best Islander of all time. If he leaves right now, and goes somewhere else, like, sure, he's great. He'll still go down as one of them, but like, not in the same regard that people look at a guy like Steve Yzerman in Detroit. Like, he's a guy like, what? No, I'm just,
That's not the same comparison. He's got to win some cups.
Still, like, but for that team, for a team like Detroit who's won a lot of cups, they look at that, right? Steve, the Islanders
I know the
had
comparable.
one era, the Islanders had one era that they won cups in, and that's fine, right? Like Mike Bossy and the guys there, sure, they're legends of that team, but if John Tavares stays, he will be the greatest New York Islander of all time, and I would want that. Who's your comparable?
Jerome Iginla.
Yes, he would be Jaromir Iginla. 100%.
But is he better than Mike Bossy? Is he looked at better than Mike Bossy? I don't think so.
I think so.
What if he signs a 1-year contract and goes to Toronto and wins the cup? He will be a god for the rest of his life.
True.
He only has to play 1 year there.
He would get the old Ray Bourque treatment where you play a season and a half with a team and they retire your number.
Yeah, but it would be even more than that. It would be beyond what Ray Bourque did.
Would he get a statue?
Because think about it, because Ray Bourque, that was the second cup.
Truth.
So this would be the first one since 67. Like I said, he would never have to work or do anything ever again. He wouldn't even have to people would line up to sweep his house.
On the island, because he's going back to New York.
Well, it doesn't matter where he goes. So,
all right, yeah. Joel, it is time to pick our Pavel Bure must-watch games of the week. We play this with high sticking. Oh, we didn't do Elimination Station.
I was going to say, are we not going to eliminate someone? Let's get someone out of here.
I was going to say we're going lengthy this week.
Yeah.
All right.
This will be quick. This one's an easy one. Let's just throw someone out.
Just super quick, easy, and then we'll quickly talk about why they deserve to be gone. So we have eliminated so far the Coyotes, the Sabres, the Senators, the Panthers, and the Red Wings.
Should probably choose a Western team.
Well, look, if we're going, I'm not ready to, if we're wanting to keep this quick, the Western team that is going to be selected will not be a quick choice. Oh no, never mind. They're in the West. Vancouver, they are the team that I pick.
Okay, let's do that. I was gonna throw out the Devils, but
Joel loves again, not a quick conversation.
Okay. Canucks though, we agree. Let's go. We'll do Devils next week.
Okay. Vancouver Canucks. What do you do with the Canucks?
Don't trade Horvat, Ulevy, and a first for PK Subban. So that's a good start.
Yeah, is that a good place to go?
Yeah.
That was the rumor this week that was a trade that was potentially made available when Ulevy was drafted. But you know why it fell apart? Montreal would only do the trade. Montreal was actually the ones who said no to it in the end. They would only do the trade if Pierre-Luc Dubois was available at number 5, and he wasn't.
Instead of Ulevy.
Yeah.
But they could have taken Tkachuk.
They could have taken Tkachuk. They could have taken any number of players instead of Ulevy.
Clayton Keller.
They could have taken Clayton Keller, who's having a great season. Yeah, there's a lot of players available there. And if that is a true rumor, mistakes were made by Marc Bergevin in Montreal. And to be honest, Jim Benning in Vancouver. The fact that was on the table for either of them and that one walked away, come on, guys.
Both of them not very good GMs.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually think Vancouver toes the line and just don't. Actually, I'm okay if you bring back the Sedins next year on a 1-year deal. That doesn't hurt you.
So I know the Sedins, they haven't really they obviously haven't asked for a trade, and they've played their entire careers together in Vancouver. What do you think? To me, it always makes sense to trade someone if you can. I don't know what kind of value you would actually get for one or both of the Sedins.
What if you ate half of their contract for the rest of the year and traded both of them to one team? And all of a sudden, one team's third line is two Sedins.
I would be okay if you had a third line of Sedin, and fellow Swede Carl Soderberg. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that's what you do. You trade Vanek, you trade the Sedins.
As all of these teams at the bottom are. Vancouver, however, does have some very good young talent, right? You mentioned Brock Besser. We saw him win MVP at the All-Star game. And I think, like, for a lot of people, the continued overreaction of Brock Besser happened, right?
Yeah, he's so not as good as people think he is.
But he is good. Like, he's not this good, but he's good.
Might be good. He might be good.
He's good.
Would you rather Brock Besser or Bo Horvat?
Bo Horvat.
And it's not even close.
Yeah. So
they need to win they win the lottery, they'll be laughing.
Yes, 100% they'll be laughing. They'll have
with Dallin.
They'll have all the Swedes on that team because they've got Pedersen and wow, the name of that other one slipped. The guy that they got,
Louis Eriksson.
No, not him. Well, yes, also him, but the guy that they got in the Burrows trade from Ottawa.
I don't know.
Whatever his name
I know
is.
who he starts with a D, I think.
Yeah, and it's not Dallin.
It's not Dallin. But I don't know. They're a good little team. They'll be okay if they just if they win, if they actually trade off some assets, get some second round picks, win that thing, they'll be good. So
yeah,
I'm good.
I think we saw at the start of the year what they could be. This is, I think, like most teams at the bottom, they need to find someone to be their goaltender. Markstrom's not going to be that, and so they need to sort out who and how they're going to get a goalie. But other than that,
Demko or whatever his name is, they got the guy. He's like the best. Like I think he's rated as one of the top 2 or 3 goalies prospects right now.
He's in this game I'm watching.
There you go. Let's go talk about the Pavel Burys.
All right, the Pavel Burys. These are our must-watch games of the week. We play high sticking. You pick who you think is going to score the game-winning goal for each of these on the Twitters at Fourth Line Podcast. And if you win, you get points. 3 for the game winner, 2 points for the first assist, 1 point for the second assist. We had a tie last week, Joel. We finally decided after all these years the tiebreaker rules. I went back and it was Ken and the other person in that tie is slipping my mind right now. Either way, that tiebreaker was the rules we set would have come down to a coin flip. Liam, that's who it is. Ken and Liam tied for the lead. However, there's a new tie for the lead. Mr. Dan Rice and KG, they are tied for the lead in high sticking right now. And this will be decided by our new rules if this stands. This is going to be our last week. These are our last picks.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. So there's a chance to break a tie here.
Yeah. So Dan's currently has the tiebreaker. He has picked 5 game-winning goal scorers correctly. However, Ken and Liam are both sitting behind him with 6, 1 point back. So this is anyone's game the rest of the week. Joel, do you have the schedule pulled up for Tuesday night? Where are you going?
I don't know. There's a ton of games.
There's a ton of games happening. My score app still thinks that the All-Star game is today, which it isn't. So do you want to do like
Tampa? There's like Tampa Winnipeg. That's probably a good little game.
Yeah, it's a good little game. Let's do that.
Okay.
Once my phone sorts its life out.
Wednesday you have Islanders Toronto, San Jose Detroit, Philly Washington.
All right, let's see. So there's 3 games.
Yeah.
I'd go Philly Washington.
That's probably what I would have gone.
All right. Thursday.
Oh, there's another ton of games. Boston, St. Louis. Nope. No Boston. Vegas, Winnipeg.
I think does it have to, I know we already picked them once this week. Is it the game I'm going to be at?
Are you at Tampa, Calgary?
I'm at Tampa, Calgary.
You can pick that. Do you want to pick that?
Sure.
Okay. Friday, do you want to do Sid versus Ovi or Neil versus Gabrick's old team? I don't know who's on Minnesota anymore.
I would say
Eric Stahl.
I would probably pick Sid versus Ovi.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a much better thing than Neil versus Marian Gabrick's old team, which I didn't even know which of Marian Gabrick's old teams you meant.
So, quite the throwback week. We're going Washington Capitals all the time for Carl.
Yeah, it's just Washington and Tampa all week. Saturday night, we're back. Toronto finally gets back on Saturday night, and we can't pick them in high sticking because they play Boston.
I hate Boston.
Yeah, Brad Marchand extra hated after this All-Star game weekend. He leaned in to the hate that he got, but just go away, Brad Marchand. Nobody likes you. You were fired up about goalie interference. I was equally as fired up about my dislike of Brad Marchand.
That's how fired up you were about it, hey?
I cannot stand that guy. Just the worst.
Go Minnesota, Dallas, Saturday night.
Minnesota, Dallas on Saturday night. Sunday, this is going to be the last game of high sticking because we need to know who's the winner before we record on Monday. And thus, there is 3 games for us to choose from. We have 2 Canadian, I don't even know. Oh, Super Bowl. That's why there's no game at night. I was like, why is there no game? There's 3 afternoon games, morning games, depending on where you live. We either have to go with my current bandwagon team or my old bandwagon team again.
San Jose.
San Jose, Carolina, because we're not picking Ottawa, Montreal.
You can't go Washington again. We can't go 3 games with them this week.
All right, there we go. San Jose and Carolina. Those are the final game-winning goal, high-sticking, Pavel Bure must-watch games of the week for January. So congrats to everyone. Thanks everyone for playing. It was a lot of fun. It was nice actually with the All-Star game having every period. It was fun being able to hand out some points every single period of that game.
Is that what we did?
Yeah, because the games, we did points for every game. And so after every period, after every 20 minutes, we'd hand out some points.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so there was points raining everywhere that day.
I like it. Carl.
Joel.
Did you know that you can head over to atb.com/the Alberta Podcast Network?
That's not the website, but
okay.
you can go to albertapodcastnetwork.com and find out that they are powered by ATB.
Oh. I did not know that.
Yeah, now you do.
Did you? What happens when you go to the Alberta Podcast Network?
.com. You can find out about all of the great shows. One of us we're there. And actually one thing that's always nice, I never know, though all the shows are in alphabetical order. What I didn't know is that they put numbers first.
Whoa.
So, because, some people slot us in at F for 4th. The number 4 has us right at the top. So if you go there, you'll see our logo bright and shiny right there. Right next to the show Assumptions, which is a show by Daniel and Kyle where they challenge each other's assumptions. So they've got, one is a Christian and one is an atheist, and they talk about life. They talk about different topics. So they have a number of different shows that they do. And they are in the middle of in between seasons, but they've still been putting out some shows. So every month or so, you'll see Assumptions with theirs, and so you can go over to assumptions.libsyn.com for more about them.
I don't know. You don't watch any hockey this week?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm going to too.
Yeah, I'm going to a game. Of course, I'm going to watch. I'm literally gonna. I paid money to watch a game on Thursday, so.
You gonna watch the Super Bowl?
Yep, I'm gonna do that too. You're not.
Yeah, I am.
Are you? Is that what you're doing that night?
Yeah, I get paid to watch the Super Bowl.
Well, that's pretty good then. That's an alright deal.
Yeah. I am gonna go now.
Okay. Do you want me? Can I tell people about where they can find us? Like, are you going to stick around for that much longer, or do you want to Boom City now and then just say goodbye?
Go. You got 15 seconds. Go.
All right. You can find us on Twitter at Fourth Line Podcast, thefourthlinepodcast.com. You can find us everywhere there's podcasts. Thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. Thank you everyone who leaves us a review on iTunes. I have 7 more seconds and I'm done.
No, you didn't. I hit 15.
Okay, fine. And then I'm done.
Boom City.
I stopped right then.
Get out of here. Go away. Boom City. Bye.